Hello there, good afternoon. This is Starr Midday News on Starr 103.5 FM. I am Serwaa Amihere. Coming up, private legal practitioner Kwame Jantua dismisses Electoral Commission's justification in relocation with precedents, citing failure to provide context for past incidents.
The Electoral Commission has cited all these examples. Did they tell you the circumstances that led to that? Did she narrate that there? That at this place, ABCD happened, so we had to recollate. At this place, YXZ happened, we had to recollate. Is it the same circumstances as today?
Also coming up, Education Minister assures of release of WASSCE results by 29th December as a sector ministry releases additional 25 million Ghana cedis to the West African Examinations Council to expedite marking process for the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination.
On or about 29th of this month, the results will come out. So I'm very satisfied.
We know they were having some little challenges with funds initially.
28th, 29th results will be out. We're on the same page with them.
Okay.
Meanwhile, National Council of Parents Teachers Association expresses discontent with the Education Ministry over what it says is apparent disregard for their concerns.
Our voices must be heard, but just that the doors of ministry have always been locked up on us.
And later, Ashanti Region NDC-led oral team intercepts significant quantity of government fertilizer at Fomina, allegedly belonging to the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Isiama.
It's part of the numerous fertilizers that second Deputy Speaker of Parliament has been harboring in the region. We got a tip-off that at his own house, he put some there and we came here to see it. And it is real.
We have these and more coming up on Starr 103.5 FM. I am Serwaa Amihere.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
And this is Starr 103.5 FM. Let's settle for the details. Private legal practitioner Kwame Jantua has dismissed the Electoral Commission's justification in recollection after the declaration of results. The EC has come under fire for its decision to recollate the results of 9 disputed parliamentary seats. In a shocking turn of events, 7 of the 9 set seats have since been declared favoring the NPP, leaving the opposition NDC to vow to contest the results. The EC has since defended its action, citing precedents in 1998 and 2004 under the former EC chair, Dr. Farijan. Now, despite this response, Kwame Jantua argues that the Commission's decision to recollate the results of the disputed parliamentary seats is not legally sound, suggesting that the reference to precedents does not adequately address the concerns surrounding the current situation. He spoke earlier with me on GH1 TV.
Other countries that have good electoral systems, a good electoral commission, would ask themselves, what is Ghana doing? How can Ghana do this? There are 2 that haven't been called. The MPP will not agree. And you see, this is where I find it a challenge. Where things are not being done right, political parties should be able to come together and say, this is not right, Electoral Commission. Change it, irrespective of whether it benefits us or it doesn't benefit us. Did Ghanaians not give this country to the MPP? In 2016, 2017, Ghanaians voted for you phenomenally. And what did they do with that power they gave them? That today they've been obliterated from the surface of this earth with this election. That should tell you exactly what people feel about their leadership.
A statement of a sort from the Electoral Commission saying that recollation after declaration of results is not new.
So let me ask you.
Yes.
The Electoral Commission has cited all these examples. Did they tell you the circumstances that led to that? As you mentioned, You tell us circumstances, as you mentioned, tell us the circumstances that led to what they are quoting. Is it the same circumstances as this one? Did she narrate that there? That at this place, ABCD happened, so we had to recall it. At this place, YXE happened, we had to recall it. Is it the same circumstances as today? The best thing of the Electoral Commission to say, if you're not happy with the figures that have been given, go to court. Simple.
Let's have a conversation on this. Joining us via phone is Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. He's the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Doc, good afternoon and thank you very much for your time. Hello, Dr. Rashid. We apologize for that. Dr. Rashid Tanko is unable to join us. He's the Deputy Director for Elections and IT for the NDC, and would have engaged him on what the NDC's position on this EC's justification. Moving on, businessman and former NPP sympathizer Ohene Kwame Frimpong has hinted of working with the NDC after clinching victory as an independent candidate in the Asante Achim North parliamentary race. His win marked a significant shift in the political dynamics of the constituency, which was traditionally an NPP stronghold. Frimpong defeated incumbent NPP MP Andy Apiakubi in the 2024 general elections, drawing support from constituents who were dissatisfied with the status quo. In an interview with me earlier today, the MP-elect emphasized that his openness to working with any political party that aligns with the development of goals in the development of Asante Achim North contributed to his win.
During my campaign, I said to my constituents that I will do business with any government that comes to power. Now, so based on that,
Now that NDC has won,
I will stick to everything I said to my constituents. I'm not going to be a trickster, no. Whatever I said to them, I will make sure I follow it. The people of Asante Achim North, I know, will tell me what, because I go down to their level. I am very close to them. They will tell me what to do when the time gets closer. I have to do business with NDC because what my constituents need is development. I want to be able to help bring factories in the constituency for the youth to get work. I want to be able to support the education system in my constituency. I want to support the health system in my constituency. I want to help people. So it will be best for me and my constituents to deal with a group of people or a government who can really support them and help them get what they need.
And that was MP-elect for Asante Achim North constituency. Let's do some education stories now. And Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Seiduchum, has assured Ghanaians that the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination, that is the WASI results, will be released on or before the 29th December 2024. The Ministry of Education has provided an additional 25 million Ghana cedis to the West African Examinations Council to facilitate its operations and expedite the marking process for the 2024 WASI. The payment to WAEC follows the examination body's warning that the government's outstanding debt of 118 million Ghana cedis could delay the release of the 2024 WASI results. The PTA has expressed discontent with the Education Ministry over what it describes as apparent disregard for their concerns. Irene Sam is a Deputy PRO for the National Council of the Parent-Teacher Association and has been speaking to Starr News.
We are the major stakeholders in education. And whatever intervention that government puts in place, we are the direct beneficiaries. But over the years, government has not given us a listening ear. Any time we knock at their door for us to dilate issues and see where we can place a finger on whatever and even solve issues amicably, we are not giving the audience, to the extent that they even try to break our fronts and even come and set guidelines for our association, which is really registered and autonomous. So this is where we find ourselves now. that we have not received any kind of listening ear from the part of the ministry and that of GES.
Right.
The politics has been so much. Anytime you talk about issues, then you are placed in a particular corner, branding a particular colors, which we are not partisan. So this is where we find ourselves now. Our voices must be heard, but just that the doors of ministry have always been locked up on us.
But addressing journalists during a working visit to the WAEC office moments ago, Dr. Yao Seiduchum disclosed that about 50% of the results have been worked on. He also expressed confidence in the release of the results before the end of the week.
Impromptu visitor across the country by various agencies, so this is not unusual. However, I came to apprise myself of developments in terms of the fact that they are working now through the holidays to get the results out on or before 29th of this month. So I came and I saw the workers scanning is being done, close to 50% is done. They are
all these delays. What have they done with the various rounds of money given the Ministry of Education by the Ministry of Finance? We'll go into all these things. And we need to do what the President has said, the incoming President has said, that there will be a stakeholder engagement 6 months into his government so that we chart a way forward for education in general in this country, not only the free senior high school, but all other aspects of education. But I can assure you that the pressing issues of WAEC and that of the secondary or senior high schools will be handled as soon as.
And that was the voice of Peter Nochukoto, who is ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament. If you just joined us, this is Starr 103.5 FM. I am Serwaa Amihere. Let's take you back to our earlier story where the private legal practitioner Kwame Jantua dismissed the EC's justification for recollation, where the EC this morning has put out a statement stating that recollation after declaration is not new, citing instances and precedents as far back as 1998 and 2004. Joining me on the phone is Deputy Director for Elections and IT for the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Doc, thank you very much for your time. Good afternoon. Is the NDC satisfied with the EC's justification?
That justification should be thrown to the dogs. Look, these people are just trying to confuse you the media, and then confuse the general public. Whatever they put out there doesn't deserve the people on which they put it on. Every electoral cycle has its own CI. That is why we have, if you go and look at the previous election, we used to have CI 91, we used to have CI 90, and all those things. Those CIs determine how the election was going to conduct in those cycles. 2004, there was a CI. 2012, we had another CI. And we had another one in 2016. The current one came into force in 2020, signed by Madam Jean Mensah. So that's what we are using now. So you cannot go and use an old CI, the operation of that CI, to come and justify an action now. Who are they fooling? Because they think people don't read in Ghana or what? Or they think that we're not part and parcel of the process. We were there. In 2004, I was then the Director of Election for Northern Region when this solemn incident happened. Collation had not completed. They had just started collation when the tax vandalized the place. Destroyed all the ballot boxes. Unfortunately, on their part, we had our pink sheets. The issue had their pink, so everybody ran helter-skelter to a tamale. Then we now did what we call recollation. We're now collating the result. Declaration had not been made. They should differentiate the two. Our position here is that when you do declaration, you cannot do another recollation again to now come and do another declaration. And that was the reason why Madam Jean Mensah wrote in 2020 to us, when we for recollation, it must have the episode. The justification was that as soon as declaration is made, they cannot do recollation or recounting. And that you can only proceed to court to seek redress there. What has changed this year? Madam, what has changed? Tell me what has changed this year. Is it not the same thing? So which justification are they making? Look, they are perpetrating falsehoods. Complete falsehoods. And in fact,
Mr. Rashid, do you admit, though, that even though the CIs may be different, is a precedent that exists, that has happened before?
Every precedent must govern with a law. There is a law that allows that kind of precedent. There was a law which banned political parties in Ghana. So do we use those precedents and say because political parties were banned, we should use that precedent and apply it?
What is the NDC's next move? What do you intend to do?
We are not respecting that thing. That's why we should dismiss that thing. And that's why we've made them to know that they are perpetuating falsehood. You know, they invited us for a IPAC meeting this afternoon. As soon as my boss wrote that thing, that to them, they quickly put down the IPAC meeting and said they've cancelled the meeting. Because they know they are perpetuating falsehood. It's complete falsehood.
But does the NDC intend to go for the IPAC meeting today?
They have cancelled it. They called for the IPAC and they have cancelled it again.
What does the NDC intend to do about the 7 seats that have been declared in favor of the NPP?
We have issues with it in court. We know we filed the process at Supreme Court. And then we are waiting for a determination from Supreme Court over that matter. For now, that is where we have put our issues.
Thank you very much. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Let's take you to the Ashanti region now. And the Joseph Yamin-led operation Recover All State Looted Assets has intercepted a significant quantity of alleged government fertilizer at the residence of the Fomina DCE, Eric Kweku Kisi. Kusi confirmed to GH1 News' Ashanti regional correspondent Isaac Justice Bediako that the fertilizer was brought to his house for safekeeping by the MP for Fomina constituency, who also serves as the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Esiama, 2 days before the 2024 elections, with a promise to collect them immediately after the just ended polls. The second Deputy Speaker reportedly spoke with the recovery team, confirming that the fertilizers belonged to him, but declined to provide further details over the phone. The news team spoke with NDC's Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer, Osman Nabali, about the matter.
The fertilizers, according to the NDC, the same lead that connected them to discovery of thousands of fertilizers in Sokoban and Denyame in the regional capital, are the same people that connected them to this particular house where they have discovered another huge consignment of fertilizer. Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer of NDC, Osman Nabeli, spoke to GH1 News.
It's part of the numerous fertilizers that second Deputy Speaker of Parliament has been harboring in the region. We took consignment of some of them in Kumasi. Today we got a tip-off that at his own house, that his still uncompleted house, he put some there and we came here to see it. And it is real that it is here. We interrogated the DC. We don't know whether it is his house or the DC's house, but we met the DC, and what he is saying that the fertilizers came 2 days before the election, and it is in the night that they couldn't offload it at the district office and hide it. It is part of how they want this government, the new coming government, to suffer. That's why they are hiding those things here. So we are here to take custody of the fertilizers and make sure the government will have it and use it for the purpose that they bought it.
Are you shocked?
I'm very shocked, because currently we are having not less than 10,000 pieces of these things that government bought to give it to the farmers so that they can use it and get a good yield. The people of Ghana will get the cheaper food to eat. Today, some people are hiding it to go and sell it and take the money into their pockets for the people of Ghana to suffer.
And in the eastern region, executives of the NDC in the New Jobbing North constituency have intercepted 24,000 bags of NPK 21 fertilizer allegedly diverted for private use. The subsidized government fertilizers reportedly meant for farmers were discovered at dawn being offloaded into an abandoned church building in Kuforidia following a tip-off. Our eastern regional correspondent Kojuansa has more in this report.
The NDC executives alleges that the fertilizers meant for distribution under government's program were being stolen after the change of administration. A confrontation ensued between the transporters, EV Logistics, and the NDC executives in New Dwabe North, who suspect private individuals intended to profit from the diverted items. Samuel Adongo, NDC parliamentary candidate for New Dwabe North, spoke to the media.
Actually, we had information that yesterday evening, but it was very late, getting to almost like 12 at dawn. So that there are about 24 trucks loaded with unidentified items parked along the streets of highways just opposite the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. So we decided to follow up and monitor and see whatever that is going on. So before daybreak, they started offloading some of the trucks. So we waited for them for daybreak. Then we came around to see what is actually going on. But when we approached them, according to one of them, they told me that actually the items belong to a private businessman who is trying to get a safer place to keep his items, and it's not for government. So, in fact, we were not okay with that information, so we had to follow up. So there was one of the pickups parked there with some officers in there. So when I was approaching the pickup just drove off. So I have to come back to them again, and we have to call the police officers to come in. So I called the divisional, the municipal commander.
Well, let's have a conversation on this. Joining me on the phone is the former General Secretary of the Ghana Agricultural Workers Union, GAWU, Edward Karwe. Mr. Karwe, thank you very much for your time. Does all of this come as a surprise to you?
Well, it's not surprising to me, but I'm really disappointed that this is how far people can behave, and then people can privatize public property and then think that they control everything, and if they are not there, then nobody is there. Yeah.
But Mr. Karwe, what do we do moving forward as a people? Because the manner in which these fertilizers are supposed to be distributed, there's certainly going to be human involvement in them. What do we do? What do you propose?
I think that we still have a government in place, and then the Minister for Agriculture should be held accountable for all this. The President of the Republic should be held accountable for all this, because we shouldn't behave as if there's a vacuum. The people who have been given the mandate to rule us and then manage our resources must account for this. What is the use of the Minister for Agriculture who brought in these fertilizers, or the government that brought in these fertilizers? What are they supposed to be used for? But then if people are smuggling them or taking them away, where are the security services to deal with it? You see, so I think that the responsibility rests solely on the Minister for Agriculture and then the government and the security services.
Would you encourage a continuous interception of these fertilizers?
Well, I think that, you see, the citizens have entrusted their power in the government institutions, the police, and then the other state institutions to run the affairs of the country. What you are seeing now is an expression of lack of faith in the government institutions. The question that I'm asking is, if the Minister for Agriculture had ensured that wherever fertilizers and government properties were under his ministry had gone to are properly catered for, they will not be experiencing this. So citizens have the right under the law to act when state institutions fail. And this is what is happening. But sometimes when you allow citizens to act on their own way, then we could have excesses. And then we now jump into the excesses and ignoring the fundamental reasons why the citizens are acting that way. So I think that there's nothing that is wrong with citizens acting, and they should continue. When you have a government that has failed, then citizens must act for themselves.
Thank you very much for speaking with us, Mr. Edward Karwe. He's former General Secretary of the Ghana Agricultural Workers Union, GAWU. It's time now for some sports, and Christian Kwashi joins me. Christian, good afternoon.
Accra-based outfit when the two sides met for the 7th time in the Ghanaian top flight. However, Accra Lions extended their unbeaten run against the Ojalas despite fielding a relatively inexperienced side following the absence of the dependable centre-backs Ali Mohammed and Musa Abzata. Both sides came into the game desperately needing a win to boost their position on the table, but it was the two hosts who exerted early pressure on the young lads onto the international front. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has questioned the decision-making from Marcus Rashford's camp following his public comment regarding his future at Old Trafford. Rashford has been let out of the last 3 matchday squads after revealing he is for a new challenge. Ruben Amorim had previously commented on the situation after the interview emerged, but has now questioned the decision-making from those around Rashford, admitting it is not just the player at fault for the comment.
Of course, it's a hard.
Thank you very much.
But I understand that this kind of players, they have a lot of people around them, and making some choices that sometimes is not the first idea from the players. So I understand I can separate things. I'm always here for helping Marcus as another player, and they have to do what they have to do. I say they chose to do that interview because it's not just Marcus, and I understand that. So for me, it's as a coach, I'm just focused on the performance, the way he trained, and then the rest I think is better for me and the club deal with that when the time comes. So at the moment, I'm just focused on improving Marcus. We need a lot in this moment, the talented guy like Marcus, and I forget for now the interview. I just see what I...
So that was Ruben Amorim, Manchester United boss. However, Arsenal winger Bukayo Saka has been ruled out of many weeks after tearing his hamstring. Saka limped off in the 24th minute of the Arsenal games at Crystal Palace on Saturday, and while the Gunners went on to win 5-1, but the victory was made by the injury to the England winger who left the stadium on crutches. Arsenal manager confirmed Saka's injury while speaking ahead of the game against Ipswich on Friday.
It's not looking good. He's going to be out for many weeks. I cannot be too specific because I don't know, but it will be many weeks.
How big a blow is that for you?
Yeah, it's a huge one. Obviously, it's a big player for us. You just have to see the impact that he's got on the team. But it's going to go a really good exercise for all of us to think about ways to overcome another challenge, because we already have a lot in the season.
Right, so that is all for sports. Back to you, Serwaa.
Thank you very much, Christian. And before we go, the terrible weather associated with Hamilton contributes to road carnages recorded during festive seasons. It is for this that the Ghana Meteorological Agency has cautioned motorists to conduct the necessary checks on their vehicles to ensure their absolute safety on the move. My colleague Nanama Akwa has more in this report.
Harmattan is a phenomenon that occurs over the West African subregion. It is characterized by dry winds which decrease visibility due to minute dust particles. Head of Central Analysis and Forecast Office at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Felicity Ahafianyo, explains more.
The Harmattan comes in seasons and it comes in variations. We have the moderate, we have the severe, we have the mild. Currently what we are experiencing is more like moderate, sort of the Harmattan season over the entire country. So as human, the first point of call is that we should get closer to GMET as you are doing to get the forecasts on daily basis. So we'll be able to tell you the winds, we'll be able to tell you the dryness, and then you will pick it from there. Then another aspect is that you need to be careful with our fires that we use. Either you are doing firewood, you are doing charcoal, you are doing gas or whatsoever. You should be very, very mindful. The smokers, those that do cigarettes or the others, they also need to be mindful that the last bit should be quenched so that they don't result into fires.
She also recommended that during the festive season, motorists should conduct the necessary checks on their cars to ensure their absolute safety on the move.
Then the motorist, this is key. It's a festive season and most of us will be traveling. This time around we expect it to be thick. so visibilities around dawn hours are going to be less than 1 kilometer. So they need to be careful. So they have to speak to their auto electricians for them to check their lighting system. And commercial vehicles, the overtakings, they need to be careful.
Ghanaians also shared their experiences of this year's Harmattan season.
Fortunately, today I wake up, I couldn't bath because of the Harmattan. The weather was chill. And also it has affected my mouth, that my mouth, there are a whole lot of whitish substances on my mouth also. And the weather too is very dusty as well.
I have a better pomade, if possible, get a shea butter. Apply it after bath, and that is all.
This year, I think those who sell my lip balm are really going to earn money because the weather is really dry.
Since it's the season, keep your lip balm close, your shea butter even closer, and your water in hand. In the meantime, Harmattan, you're welcome. My name is Nanama Akwa reporting for GH1 and Star FM News.
And Merry Christmas in advance to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Star Midday News. I am Serwaa Amihere. For more news, log on to starfm.com.gh. Have a good afternoon.